All right, so we're here with Nate from Custom Pack Co. Nate, why don't you give our viewers like a little rundown on who you are and what you guys do?
Cool. So we make custom packaging for the cannabis industry. We really focus on operational efficiency, so designing stuff that basically cuts down the time that's in your facility. So delivering stuff that comes open, that nests, takes up less space, that cuts your counting time, so things that pack into like secondary boxes that fill exactly 100, no more, no less. So that's kind of our main focus, is really trying to like bridge the gap between operators and like a packaging company. So we have our processing license as well, a cultivation license coming. We've been in the industry for a long time, mostly on the cultivation side. So I think we kind of have a special like little niche knowledge of like all the fucking mistakes you can possibly make. We've already made 5 times. Yeah. And so now we design our packaging to prevent those kind of mistakes. Okay. So that's kind of the niche we're filling. We do a lot of white label co-packing where we sell the custom packaging and then we fill it on site.
All right. Where are you guys located?
Northern Michigan, like right by Traverse City.
Word. That's interesting. So did the packaging, that company came about from you identifying problems and nobody being able to fill it, pretty much?
Yeah, I mean, like I said, we used to do music festival merchandise. So I spent, I don't know, probably a couple of years of my life now in China, Vietnam, doing sourcing and importing. So there was a point where, I don't know, I actually don't know what triggered it, but I was like, I'm doing cannabis packaging. It just like seemed like the best hustle possible. I'd kind of like gone away from cannabis at one point, just like done the cultivation thing for so long, and I was like over it. Yeah. I was a botany major at Humboldt State, so I was like fully ingrained in just the plant for so long. But it kind of like brought those two things together. And yeah, now that we've developed a little bit more, instead of just like, slanging Mylar bags, now that, we're designing like the world's first fully recyclable Mylar bag. Like the zipper's recyclable, the bag's recyclable.
When you say recyclable, it means like it goes into the recycling and the center can take it and recycle it?
We are actually working with the Sustainable Packaging Coalition and How to Recycle. So they work with like Amazon bubble mailers and like grocery bags. Okay. Like the plastic that you wrap around like a pack of water bottles, like the shittiest stuff to recycle. They built a stream that goes to like Trex boards, like the fake wood board.
So repurposed.
Yeah, and it's like if it goes to that stream, it's actually going to be recycled.
Right.
So
not just dumped off into the ocean.
Yeah, and they also do like in-store pickup. So we're working with a couple of our like bigger dispensary clients on a pilot program where like on the more on the marketing side too, where you bring back in your packaging and then get a discount, basically, and they have the on-site recycling for those exit bags, or like you could bring in Amazon stuff and they can be like a kind of a service to their community. Mm-hmm. A lot of these dispensaries are like in a really, really small town and one of the only thriving businesses. There's not a Target where you can do this like normal drop off. So we're using that as like it's a really just a good thing for the world, but it's also like a really strong driver on the marketing side.
Yeah.
Like you buy your packaging, like you get a discount if you come back into us and bring it back. So that's a cool initiative we're working on. The sustainability side is huge. If you're not doing it, you're gonna get passed by people that are for sure.
For sure. Or you might get canceled.
Yeah. I mean, there's like the cannabis industry is for sure like everyone is watching you all the time, and you just at least need to be consistent with your brand. Sure. Like not all brands need to, but there's a lot of brands who are like organic and really go on, all their stuff's printed on craft brown paper, but they're like all the packaging is made in China. It's all plastic. None of it is recyclable.
Greenwashed.
Yeah, exactly. It's like your brand is green. You're like EnviroCan, certified and stuff. Yeah. But like then you're using like the world's worst packaging for your materials.
And you're polluting the earth with your plastic.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
And we have some people doing like cool plant bioresin stuff. Like that's the biggest thing. Injection molding with bioresins is really big. We have some cool compostable J tubes, 5-packs, that sort of stuff. Yeah.
I was talking with AFS. I'm not sure if you're familiar. They put like a CRC media in. It's like a Keurig. Okay. But with CRC media. They got a special column, so then so you don't have to pack the powder at your spot. Your tech can just throw it on, peel the lid, and ready to go.
Interesting.
Yeah, it's a pretty sweet model. I brought up the question with him, what about the trash? Because now I've got Keurig cups everywhere. Yep. So he had a couple of ideas about that, and for them I said you should definitely incentivize people to return these cups. And so that's something I need to drive with them. But maybe I should link them up with you guys. Maybe you could provide better packaging.
It's possible. Yeah, man. Even just there's so many compostable plastic or resins now, not plastics, but especially things like that. As long as it's all one material, that's the big thing. It's you can't recycle things that are mixed. That's why like cartridges, you know, like trying to figure out a way.
The best thing I've seen for carts is they started like an art project, and they bring them back in, and once they have enough, they build like big permanent or like semi-permanent pieces of art.
The packaging coalition that we're working with, they do this like secondary labeling. So it's like instead of just like the number, the recycling sign and the number, it'll be like separate for the lid and the base and tell you like you have to remove the label too. So it's like a way more expanded version of the labeling. So that's what we're like deploying to basically all of our SKUs. You know, so like we want it to tie into on-site operations, but it's again, it's like being consistent with your brand. Like, yeah, your jar is recyclable, but it's only recyclable if you remove the lid, take out the liner of the lid, and like this kind of labeling would teach people how to do that.
Does it have to be clean of hash too? Because like a peanut butter jar.
Yeah, everything should be clean when it's recycled, but what we've been told is like a lot of the stuff is
boiled,
goes through high heat.
Yeah.
So like even we're finding like for our tin plate, which is highly recyclable, like has been used 10 times before we deliver to a client. We can use a silicone liner in it because it melts off. It doesn't burn and like adhere to the metal. So like that is recyclable, even though it's two components, because of the stream it goes through. Like the silicone melts away.
Yeah, and silicone's not the best to pack your hash in either.
No, yeah, these are for like mostly for edibles.
And gummies probably be a little bit better. Yeah.
Yeah, and it doesn't touch the silicone. Doesn't touch it probably like a little millimeter would it could touch the product, but
yeah, I mean for food, I don't think it's as big a deal. It's more like if you've got terps.
Yeah,
that's where you're running it because then you've got a solvent.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
Cool. Nice. So you guys, I imagine you provide all your in-house packaging for your processing.
Yeah, I mean that's the goal. It's like that's where we really kill it. It's like, you know, we sell you the package, we sell you the cone, we source the weed for you, we do the service to roll it or fill it. We print our own labels in-house, we label it for you, then we distribute it. But we work with a lot of like we generally work like enterprise level, try to go with MSOs or at least people with a wide distribution network. Just because it's so hard. You know, we have 45 employees and we'll probably double that in the next few months.
Nice.
Just to keep those people in work, we need to have people with consistent flow and like a dialed supply chain where they're not like running out of cones. Yeah. Because we have to plan, you know, we have to have 30 people on site. You know? So we end up working with people who've been established and have really dialed in packaging. You know, so we're adapting to their SOPs constantly, which is awesome because we see how people do it. You know, we're learning on the fly. Like, you know, we work with Viola. They roll their joints completely different than, you know, Loom in Michigan, and we improve because of that, because we're seeing everyone, you know, people who've been in the game for longer than us, you know. But on your point, it's a great foot in the door. Like, and especially if we can tell people, like, look, we're rolling your stuff. If you switch to this kind of tin that we make, that, you know, people use a tin that's delivered closed, and it has a hinge tin, right? So when you ship that, it ships closed, and you're actually shipping a ton of empty space in that tin. Right? So what we do is we have a 2-part tin that comes open, and the tops all nest with the tops, the bottoms all nest with the bottoms. So you're not shipping any empty space, and it comes open, so you fill. So like it's a 6-cent touch. Is what every second costs you a penny at your facility. Anytime you're wasting a penny or wasting a second fucking with your packaging.
Boxes,
and now like in California, everything has to be US CR certified. Like 2 points of child certification or resistance. So like 2 buttons.
2 point. Oh.
And so some people are doing 3 now. Like Canada is talking about 3. Like and so
it's already hard enough for me to do the singles.
And so if you deliver that closed, like that's you're like my God. Every, like 6 cents on every unit.
Now we can't have children labor anymore.
Yeah. I think it's 21 in Michigan. We have a lot of young guys in there. Yeah, a lot of young people.
Unless in Washington they're giving exemptions right now for family, for like because schools were closed and shit, so that you could bring your kids to the farm.
Oh, interesting.
And Oregon has some areas where if it's like your primary residence is also where you grow, and you've got kids, and they can be kind of a part of it.
That makes sense.
Like, but yeah, for the most
Michigan's
part,
super restrictive.
Yeah,
they've been cool about. We have like our like social equity side is like hiring felons or people with drug crimes, which is Michigan like made a program. You're not allowed to, but if you ask for like dispensation, basically you can hire people. So we're at like, I think we're like 30 to 40% of our staff is like former felons or drug crimes or, you know, stuff like that. We have, you know, all over the place, tons of types, but that's been like Michigan's super restrictive on basically everything. Honestly, it's one of the tightest markets. but they have some pretty good social equity built into their laws. Great lawyers crafted the laws in Michigan.
They're about to squash the caregiver?
I don't think it'll pass.
Yeah, okay.
There's like this. Most of the state reps are super, like, on our level, and like it's the last thing that was proposed was like going down to one caregiver, which has been what's been bounced around for a long time. Because then it's like, if you have cancer, you really do need a caregiver. There is a system there.
Sure,
for you.
Washington did that. Like,
but you can't
medical,
be a caregiver with one patient. Like that can't be your job.
Yeah.
So it removed like actually people
doing it
who
for profit.
Do it. Yeah. Well, and like doing it for like that should be a job. Like
of course,
like,
if they're providing a service, and I'd rather
not. I don't want a part timer getting me my medicine. I want someone who's like fully invested and makes good. Exactly. And so like, there's a big difference between someone who has one caregiver and is like in their garage versus someone who like does it full time, provides for 6 patients.
Sure.
But from what I've heard, I think that's a pretty low chance of it going through. Cool. They're trying to force it through. There's some like definitely big lobbying money behind it.
If it's not this one, it'll be the next one.
And it's like there is some opportunity. Like caregivers can then sell to the legal market. Like that's part of this bill. So it's a little like, here, look what we gave you guys. But it's a bait and switch, a little kind of deal. Yeah. But if something like that passed, because that's how we used to be. You used to be able to sell caregiver product into the market.
Yeah.
And it was the golden years, like it was the best time.
It was great.
Yeah. Like, and so I think there are probably some caregivers who are like scratching their head, like, man, I probably would like to go back to those times but yeah, I don't know. Like, there's a ton of people doing really well growing 72 plants.
Yeah.
And like pulling 150 pounds outdoor. And that's really worrisome to people. Like, there's a lot of people like me who paid, we pay $60K a year for one license.
For sure.
Just our processing.
Taxes.
100 with our processing. Yeah. And to be like, they have no oversight. There's a lot of people who are like, but that's where we came from. Like I was on the hill in Humboldt, so it's hard for us to be like, fuck the black market. Like, we were built by that,
Yeah, it's a tough one. Like the government pitting us against each other. Should all be
and we work with super corporate brands. Like, and we and what kind of sucks is like we'll meet someone and they'll be like, oh, like you do packaging for them. Like that's like, I'm like I'm just hustling, bro. Like, I'm trying to sell. I'm just selling some Mylar, dude. And like, tell me if they asked you to put your product in their 50 stores, you wouldn't say yes. But there's a lot of that. Like, I think for the most part, like. Yeah, there's like some corporate, you want to call it Chad, but like, look at, I'm a tall white dude with a buzz cut, like, like I have some tattoos and I'm not wearing a suit, but like, shit, dude, there's a lot of people in here who don't look like, or maybe didn't come from black market, but they still have a ton of passion. They're still good people, but there's definitely some weird corporate energy coming in. Like, you can't
filtering in, it's filtering in, and it's kind of turning me off to it. And then I look to mushrooms, and all those Chads are already like, we got mushrooms. I'm like, I don't know if I want anything to do with that either.
I know it. Yeah.
I mean, a good transition for you guys into mushrooms, though.
Yeah, in Michigan, it's legal in Ann Arbor. Like billboards and stuff. But it's scary when you're like for us, if anyone on our staff has any interaction with law enforcement in any way, we have to report it to like the licensing bureau. So like going into psychedelics, like we're going to have something.
Well, I mean, just sell packaging.
Oh yeah, we already do.
Yeah, okay.
We have some people, out of Colorado doing like it's kind of a goo based, but it's more like they're removing a bunch of the alkaloids, so it's like very specific, no stomach issues and stuff.
I'll show you this dude lifting with a big ass diamond.
Nice. Yeah, and it's a completely different experience.
I prefer it. Yeah. I don't get the stomach rot.
Yeah, and there's no speediness to it.
I like it a lot.
Yeah, so I'm excited to see where that continues to go. Yeah.
So if someone wants to get your packages for their company, where would they find you?
Instagram at custompack _co. Or custompackco.com.
Cool.
Nate says do less on Instagram. You can always just hit me up.
Sweet.
But yeah, I mean, we're really like interested in working with people who are out of state, working in California, Oregon, and want to launch in Michigan. So we're filling that void a lot now for people who don't want to invest in a license in a facility. They can launch their brand through us, basically license out. So that's been probably the biggest growth we're seeing is in that area, just providing that service to people. Yeah.
Right on, man. Well, it's been a pleasure talking with you.
My dude. Yeah. Appreciate you a lot, man.
Go take a look at those rocks.
Yeah.
All right.